At what point did you start getting scripts handed to you? Was there a point where you could tell you were in demand? Like it wasn't just your ego, like you saw like this is turned a corner.
Sure. I mean, a lot of it is people, you know, I'm known for being in other people's videos because I have, you know, I have a lot of experience in comedy, which a lot of YouTubers, they start at YouTube and then they're like, oh, well, you know, I'd like to do comedy, and I've done kind of like the hard work, the tens of thousands of hours of auditions, comedy, writing, and I think people found like, well, this guy is in so many people's others videos, like I guess he needs to be in mine, and he has a big skill set. So I found that people started contacting me, and I'm a yes man. You know, you come here and you're just like yes, 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 and then you realize you can't say yes to everything because it dilutes your work, your time, and it's just not possible. So you know, I did notice that. You know, especially in YouTube or writing, and lately I say no a lot, not because it's not good and not because I don't want to, but there's just really not the time, and I just know I don't have, I know can't give it 100%. There's so many great people around. I'd rather you have somebody that can give you that 100%. So yeah, it's great, but I never sit there and wait ever. I get up and I follow up, and I think I like to. A bit of advice that won't drive you crazy. I was at a point where if I didn't have a good improv show or I didn't have a commercial audition, my happiness and kind of validation depended on that. And I started kind of losing my mind a little bit. And then I kind of was like, you know what? I don't care about any of that. And I went back to school and was taking anthropology classes just to use my brain a different way. As soon as I did that, everything started happening. The YouTube stuff kind of exploded for me. It's because I kind of didn't put my value into like one thing. So I was like, I can write, I can produce, I can act, I can create, I can, you know, make YouTube. I'm not a really good shooter and editor, like that I kind of leave to people that are more competent, but I wanted to make sure I had a bunch of skills, put a bunch of things out there. Even the traditional space, I have 2 screenplays, I have a TV pilot out there, so I have a lot of things out there. This way, if like one thing isn't working out, 4 other things are, or if 2 things are working out and 3 aren't, great. I haven't kind of put all my eggs in one basket.
And I know this probably sounds easier said than done, especially if you're trying to achieve something from ground zero, but would you recommend that other people find, quote, that hobby, whether it's knitting or Deepak Chopra books or something that's outside the industry, so that they're not so focused on my looks, my validation, my social media numbers?
Yeah, I mean, what I learned when I started doing improv comedy is to have a real life outside of comedy, because what's funny, comedy, things that are funny are not funny. It's the real life that's funny. When a stand-up and talks about his family, that's what's funny about his family. He's not standing there talking about comedy or I was hanging out with other, I mean, sometimes they do, but I think having a real life and real relationships and kind of having interest in other things, you could take, I mean, you might, you know, if you said knitting, I mean, if you're somebody who can like knit and do something else, that might be your YouTube video, and that might be interesting to someone because you're kind of crossing over like, well, I love knitting. I can relate to this person. I love things that are funny. You come one and stay for the other. Yeah, for me, I mean, I always have a story to tell, and I kind of, if you're out there and you have, you hear things, I'm like, that's funny, or like, that interaction's funny. What's funny about it and how can I make a video out of it? So yes, absolutely.